time when God is taking you through this test or this, I ain't gonna say this trial, He trying to gear you up for something bigger. And he was already, and you thinking he was already big because he was running Potiphar's house, but no, that's not what God really wanted him to do. I'm gonna show you here. Go ahead.
Verse 15, and it came to pass when he heard that I lift up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me and fled and got him out. And she laid up his garment by her until his Lord came home.
She laid that shirt. She almost showed the Lord, your shirt, you was in my room or whatnot. She laid it next to him. When he got there, Potiphar got there, and he listened to everything his wife said. Jump down to verse 20. The reason why I'm reading to you this is because you got pros and cons to your value. You got pros and cons to your value, and you got to kind of go through those trials so you can make sure you don't devalue yourself. And that con was his wife coming at him, trying to make him commit adultery. Verse 20, go ahead.
And Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, a place where the king's prison were bound. And he was there in the prison.
He was there in prison. How many Israelites today you seen they did 30 years or 20 years and come out and say they was not guilty? They were falsely accused. The same thing happening here. He put him in prison because he believed what that woman said, his wife. But God got a plan for that. Keep going.
But the Lord was with Joseph and shewed him mercy, and showed him mercy, and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison.
So just because your condition changed or your house changed, that don't mean that your value changed. He even had value in the prison. He started prospering in prison, the worst condition he could ever be in. He started prospering. He didn't just sit there and start complaining like, why me, why me, why me? No, look what happened. Go ahead.
And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in the prison.
Wait a minute, he was at the top in the prison. Because why? He kept his integrity. He kept believing in God. And God prospered him from the prison. I bet God, I ain't saying that what you saying, God, but I bet God said, I got to see how he does in different situations. See how he handles different situations. Can he handle the pressure? Because a lot of times the things we're going through, God trying to gear us up for our blessing by training us to handle the pressure of these ups and downs. And that's what he was doing with Joseph, seeing how he would handle it. And Joseph stayed in prison, what, 13 years? So he was 30 when he came out of there. But go ahead.
And whatsoever they did there, he was the doer of it. The keeper of the prison looked not to anything that was under his hand, because the Lord was with him. And that which he did, the Lord made it to prosper.
His value was so good that they didn't question nothing Joseph said. Whatever Joseph said, oh, okay, Joseph said that, oh, we're going to do it. He had so much value wherever he went. And that's what we got to activate in our life. We got the same skill, the same talent, the same gift. We just got to activate it. This man came from his dad's house. We sold him in slavery by Potiphar. Then Potiphar put him in prison for 13 years. And then he came up in prison. He was the head man. But let's continue on that. Let's get a little more detail on Joseph and his value. It don't stop. Genesis chapter 40, verse 1. Go ahead.
And it came to pass after these things that the butler of the king of Egypt and his baker had offended their lord, the king of Egypt.
Now the butler and the baker had sinned or had offended, did something wrong in the king of Egypt's house, and he put them in prison. Go ahead.
And Pharaoh was wroth against two of his officers, against the chief of the butler and against the chief of the bakers.
He was very angry with these two, the baker and the butler. Go ahead.
And he put them in ward in the house of the captain of the guard.
Put them in jail, ward them in jail. Go ahead.
Into the prison, the place where Joseph was bound.
Mm-hmm.
And the captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he served them. And they continued a season in war.
So the captain of the guard said, Joseph, you make sure you handle them like he did with all prisoners. That's your responsibility. Go ahead.
And they dreamed a dream, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Each man his dream in one night. Each man according to the interpretation of his dream.
Mm-hmm.
The butler and the baker of the king of Egypt, which were bound in the prison.
So they was dreaming. They had a dream, but they couldn't understand the dream. That's why you got to take time out with people who are lesser than you. Don't try to be like you just so high and mighty. Sometimes the people that are lesser than you are connected to somebody who's greater than both of y'all. Go ahead.
And Joseph came in unto them in the morning and looked upon them, and behold, they were sad.
Yeah, so why y'all sad? Jump down to verse 8. Go ahead.
And they said unto him, we have dreamed a dream,
Mm-hmm.
and there is no interpretation of it. And Joseph said unto them, do not interpretations belong to God? Tell me them, I pray you.
He put God on at the top of the list. He said, interpretation belongs to God. God gonna tell me what these dreams are. Go ahead.
And the chief butler told his dream to Joseph, and said to him, in my dream, behold, a vine was before me.
Mm-hmm.
And in the vine were 3 branches,
Mm-hmm.
and it was as though it budded, and her blossoms shot forth, and the cluster thereof brought forth ripe grapes.
Man, you got to have God interpret that. Don't nobody know what that is. You got to have God interpret that. Go ahead.
And Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup.
Yes, sir.
And I gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand.
So he telling him everything about the dream. Listen what Joseph said. Go ahead.
And Joseph said unto him, this is the interpretation of it, the 3 branches of 3 days.
Joseph, first of all, he gave an interpretation of what God gave him. He ain't going off his own mind. Remember we said in the proverb, God prepares your mind, and then your tongue will talk of his words. I will be your mouthpiece. Go ahead.
Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thine head,
Mm-hmm.
and restore thee unto thy place. And thou shalt deliver Pharaoh's cup into his hand, after the former manner when thou was his butler.
He said in 3 days you're going to be freed out of prison, and you're going to be back in the house serving Pharaoh with his wine, a cup. He was the cupbearer. But listen what Joseph said. Go ahead.
But think on me when it shall be well with thee, and show kindness, I pray thee, unto me, and make mention of me unto Pharaoh, and bring me out of this house.
You see what he said? That butler was connected. He said that in 3 days you're going to get out of prison. And when you go and start serving Pharaoh again, mention me, tell him about me. God must have gave me something. Like he knew Pharaoh going to have a dream. I ain't going to get ahead of myself. Jump down to verse 16. Go ahead.
When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, he said unto Joseph, I also was in my dream, and behold, I had 3 white baskets on my head.
Go ahead.
And in the uttermost basket there was of all manner of baked meats for Pharaoh.
Yes, sir.
And the birds did eat them out of the baskets upon my head.
Yes, sir.
And Joseph answered and said, this is the interpretation thereof, the 3 baskets of 3 days.
He telling them, now this is your interpretation. Now you got a lot of people who think all God information or messages or interpretation are good, but it ain't gonna be good for this baker. Go ahead.
Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thy head from off thee,
Meaning he gonna chop your head off in 3 days.
and shall hang thee on a tree, and the birds shall eat thy flesh from off thee. And it came to pass the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday.
Whoa, birthday. Yeah, this is what they used to do on these birthdays. Persecute and kill and do all this wickedness on these days. Just a party. Well, you want to know a birthday? Go. You want to know how satanic the birthdays are? Go to the satanic. Google the Satanic Bible, and it'll tell you about birthdays. I'm going to leave that alone. Go ahead.
And it came to pass the third day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants.
Birthday party. Go ahead.
And he lifted up the heads of the chief butler and of the chief baker among his servants. And he restored the chief butler unto his butlership again. And he gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand.
Yes, sir.
But he hanged the chief baker, as Joseph had interpreted to them.
See, with this gift, Joseph had the information. He gave it to him. But he said, remember me. Let's go to Genesis chapter 41. You feel that?
Got one more, verse 23.
Oh, go ahead.
Yet did not the chief butler remember Joseph, but forgot him.
See, the chief butler forgot him. But it's the reason why he forgot him. Genesis chapter 41, we're going to start at verse 1. When you come into a precious situation where you need to know something and somebody threatening your life, you'll remember somebody who can help you. And this is the time when Pharaoh had a dream and nobody could interpret, and he would get mad with his servants, like they couldn't interpret. Basically, like, what I'm paying y'all for, y'all ain't doing it. Y'all can't tell me that. But in the present situation, the butler gonna remember Joseph. Genesis chapter 41 and verse 1. I just want to show y'all the foundation of his gifts and what makes it so important that you understand who you are from the Word of God. These are our people here. These are the examples for us. Go ahead.
And it came to pass.
Go ahead. You on.
And it came to pass.
Is it red? Yeah, give it to me. Let's see, you done killed the spirit up in here. No, they say, kill the spirit. It's good, ain't it? I hope I don't go ahead. Go ahead.
And it came to pass at the end of 2 full years that Pharaoh's dreamed, and behold, he stood by the river. And behold, there came up out of the river 7 well-favored kine, and fat-fleshed, and they fled in a meadow. And they fed in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them out of the river, ill-favored and lean-fleshed, and stood by the other kind upon the brink of the river.
This is Pharaoh's dream, what he had. He don't understand what's going on. He needs somebody to tell him, because this dream kept reoccurring over and over and over again. He knew, not over and over, but twice, he knew that this meant something. Go ahead, verse 4.
And the ill-favored and lean-fleshed kind did eat up the 7 well-favored and fat kind, so Pharaoh awoke.
Now this is the time when Pharaoh awoke. He didn't understand what was going on. Jump down to verse 8. Now this is the time when Egypt was going through a real bad famine. For 7 years they're going to have famine, no food. In 7 years they're going to have famine and plenty. But he didn't know that at the time until Joseph told him. Verse 8, go ahead.
And it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled. And he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt and all the wise men thereof. And Pharaoh told them his dream, but there was none that could interpret them unto Pharaoh.
None of these people that he hired could interpret it. None of them. And he was mad about that. But what happened? Go ahead.
Then spake the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my faults this day.
Now he remembered his faults today. He started to remember what Joseph said. Remember me when you come in the Pharaoh house. Jump down to verse 12. Go ahead.
And there was there with us a young man, an Hebrew servant to the captain of the guard. And we told him, and he interpreted to us our dreams.
Yes, sir.
To each man according to his dream he did interpret.
So he remembered that. He trying to earn some cool point with a Pharaoh. Yeah, I know this man. He ain't really trying to help him out like heaven, but He trying to earn some cool points because he in the house. Jump out of verse 15. Listen what happened. Go ahead.
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it. And I have heard say of thee, that thou canst understand a dream to interpret it.
So he's telling them the dream. Listen what Joseph said. This is what you say when you are of value on people's jobs, when you're around people. And a lot of times the word of God will be silent around people who you view as being important. And sometimes these people want to know some information about what's going on, and you got it as the Hebrew, the Israelite. Listen what Joseph said. Go ahead.
And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It is not in me. God shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace.
He said, not about me. God gonna give you the answer. Put God up there first. God is going to give you the answer. Jump down to verse 28. Go ahead.
This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh. What God is about to do, he showeth unto Pharaoh. Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt. And there shall arise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land.
So he telling me this, with these 7 lean cows and 7 big cows, that you're going to have 7 years of famine in the land of Egypt. Then the next 7 years, you're going to have 7 years of plenty. So he telling them the dream and what's about to happen inside of under his rulership in Egypt. This is what Joseph telling him what the dream meant. Go ahead.
And the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of that famine following, for it shall be very grievous.
He said, just because you're going to have plenty, people, you know, when you got plenty, people don't put back. They don't save nothing. Oh, we got enough, we got this, but it's going to be a famine of 7 years. But God going to advise Joseph what to do, and God going to tell, Joseph going to tell Pharaoh what God said, and Pharaoh going to be very, very happy. When you ruling something, you don't want it to go down. When you own a business, you don't want it to go down. When you own a house, a car, you don't want it to go down. And somebody can tell you need to put some more oil in that car, so you won't tear the engine up. You can put some more oil in there. You're like, thank you, man. God running out of oil. I ain't even know it. And this is what Pharaoh, he gonna reward Joseph. Go ahead, verse 32.
And for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by God, and God will shortly bring it to pass.
So it was doubled by him twice. Go ahead.
Now therefore,
meaning that the dream came 2 times to him. Go ahead.
Now therefore, let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, set him over the land of Egypt.
Now Pharaoh looking out to see a man who discreet and wise. He set Joseph over Egypt. Now you talk about a man who came from being in slavery under Potiphar all the way up to jail, in jail for 13 years. And now he came up to be ruler of ruler of Egypt, excuse me. This is the value that he had of his gift. He made himself valuable. He interpreted the dream. Simple as that. Just interpret the dream. Now he's going to be second ruler of Egypt. Just the talent that God gave him. Verse 38. Go ahead.
And Pharaoh said unto his servants, Can we find such a one as this is? A man in whom the Spirit of God is.
He like, man, we can't find nobody like him. People say that about you? When they ask you what's going on in the world, why so much crime, why so much killing, why these nations are going crazy? They come to you, do you have the answers? You supposed to, you Hebrew, you Israel. It's right here in the book. Make yourself valuable. And then those things that you want to do in the world, they'll say, okay, give him that, give her that, give her that, yeah. Because I want them to talk to me and know what's going on in my mind. People so messed up and chasing money. This is not what the rich people want to basically accumulate more of. They want to have some sanity in their mind. Can you help me in an area that I'm lacking? I know how to make money. Just help me about these dreams, this stuff I'm having in my mind. That's what Pharaoh doing. He said, help me with this. I don't know. And that's how you become valuable. Go ahead.
39. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, for as much as God has showed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art.
Ain't nobody like you, man. I'm finna hire you. Go ahead.
Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto my word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than thou.
Man, do you understand? This man has just elevated himself being second in command. It's just like you on a job right now. You see people on certain jobs like, they don't have the education I got. How they become second in rulership? They don't have the things I have. I'm smarter than them. I have all this stuff. But you don't have the value. He found one value that Joseph had that he needed. And he told him where it came from, which is the God of Israel. He interpreted that dream. He set him second under him. Set him over all Israel. We finished with that?
Got one more.
Go ahead, yeah.
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, see, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt.
That's powerful. Oh, you know how big Africa is? He set him over there. He running. A slave boy from the slave quarter come up to be running the country. He's the president, the vice president.
It's powerful.
This is the value that we got to see God can do for us. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 18. Stop looking at the situation and say, man, he gonna do it for me because I'm struggling with this and struggling with that. Just shut up, get in this book, learn it, and try to abstain from them sins that you're struggling with. Everybody struggles. But me, believe me, I ain't finna wallow in it. I ain't gonna get down and say, well, I can't do nothing. I done did that before. And I sat there and I had nothing. Make yourself valuable in your enemy's land. And Joseph was in his enemy's land, and he became valuable. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 16. We're going to read one verse here. The gift that God gives you will make room for you. Go ahead, brother. Yeah, I know I read it.
A man's gift maketh room for him and bringeth him before great men.
I want people to see that. Your gift will make room for you and make you sit in presence of great men.
Amen.
Joseph wasn't educated in Egypt and all the stuff they've done. He was educated in this book. And that was Pharaoh needed. And he made him second ruler. How are you making yourself valuable? How am I making myself valuable in this world? Let me show you. It's not just for the men. Let's go with the women. Let's go to Judges. Let's look at a great woman of Israel who had a gift also. Judges chapter 4. Judges chapter 4, and verse 1. Let's look at this great woman of Israel who had a gift that made room for her. And believe me, this woman has some knowledge. It's Deborah. Judges chapter 4, verse 1. Go ahead.
And the children of Israel again did evil in the sight of the Lord when Ehud was dead.
See, when Israel got out of captivity and they was living in the land for free, Judges, you're going to look in Judges, you're going to see Israel got out of captivity, went back in captivity. Got out of captivity, went back in captivity. At this time, there was no men that were righteous enough to lead Israel. And Deborah, she was the only one, a woman, that was leading Israel, meaning she was a judge in Israel. This I ain't talking about in the church where I'm standing there. Don't get that in your head right here. She's not a pastor. She just was a judge in Israel. And because what she did, she uplifted Israel. She was a great woman. Go ahead.
And the Lord sold them into the hand of Jabin, king of Canaan.
Yes, sir.
That reigned in Hazor, the captain of whose host was Caesarea, which dwelt in Harosheth,
You're doing good, brother.
are the Gentiles.
This is what Israel, we was always in the captivity under the Gentiles. And they did horrible things to us. Go ahead.
And the children of Israel cried unto the Lord, for he had 900 chariots of iron. 20 years he mightily oppressed the children of Israel.
See, we in the land of our enemies being oppressed. And how do we come out? We got to know the judgments of God. Go ahead.
And Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Labrador, she judged Israel at that time.
Oh, mean tell me the woman was judging Israel over the men? Yes, she was. Because all the men was gone, either dead or they weren't even caring about it. When you got a woman who knows this book, believe me, she can be just as powerful as a man. She just can't stand where I stand. Don't get it twisted. But the thing is, she helped deliver Israel back to the right form. She was a great woman. And women, you need to pattern yourself out to Deborah. She knew this book. Go ahead. Jump down to verse 8. Go ahead.
And Barak said unto her, if thou wilt go with me.
Wait a minute, I went too fast. Go back.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Well, yeah, verse what?
5.
Verse 5, go ahead.
And she dwelt under the palm tree of Deborah between Ramoth and Bethel in Mount Ephraim. And the children of Israel came up to her for judgment.
So the children of Israel came up to Deborah for judgment. She was sitting like Solomon. She was sitting like Moses. She was telling them what was the judgment of God. She had the knowledge because our men was nowhere to be found. Either they were dead or they didn't care. She delivered Israel back up to the right point. Go ahead.
And she sent and called Barak, the son of Abinoam, out of Kadesh Naphtali.
You're doing good, brother. You see the Spanish up here?
And said unto him, has not the Lord God of Israel commanded, saying, go and draw toward Mount Tabor, and take with thee 10,000 men of the children of Naphtali, and of the children of Zebulun.
So Deborah, she played it smart. She sent and got Barak because she knows she needed a man to talk for her because they wasn't going to honor a woman when she started talking. But she went and got Barak. Go ahead.
And I will draw unto thee to the river Kishon, Sirach, the captain of Jabin's army,
Yes, sir.
with his chariots and his multitude, and I will deliver him into thine hand.
This is what the Lord is telling them what's going to happen. Go ahead.
And Barak said unto her, if thou wilt go with me, then I will go. But if thou wilt not go with me, then I will not go.
You see that, women? That's powerful. When a man don't know what he's doing, gonna ask you, now, if you don't go, I ain't going. He respected her. She was what? Valuable. She made herself valuable. She knew the judgments of God. She knew you couldn't take no woman that just talking, I'll flip out her mouth and not knowing what she's supposed to do. He needed her because she knew the judgments of God. And the same thing can happen to you all. He can put you women in the right places at the right time, sit before great men and women. Deborah sat before great men, and they respected her. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And she said, I will surely go with thee, notwithstanding the journey that thou takest shall not be for thine honor. For the Lord shall sell Sirach into the hand of a woman. And Deborah rose and went with Barak to Kadesh.
So you know, she said they want basically they ain't gonna respect her because they're gonna see a woman there. She said, I'm gonna go with you because you're gonna need me. But he was the man, so he needed some help. But if she didn't go, he wasn't going. And Israel gonna be straight in captivity and not knowing what they're supposed to do. Jump down to verse 14. Go ahead.
And Deborah said unto Barak, up, for this is the day in which the Lord has delivered Caesarea into thine hand.
She commanded him, get up, man, we finna get it, we finna ride out. Go ahead.
Is not the Lord gone out before thee? So Barak went down from Mount Tabor and 10,000 men after him.
She running the show. She running the show. When you got a great woman of God, she understand, you need to listen, man, sometimes. I ain't saying that she trying to rule over, she gonna help me. She helping him. Go ahead.
And the Lord discomfited Caesarea and all his chariots and all his hosts with the edge